Football is back, and so is the NFL on CBS. Joining you tonight from Indianapolis and a primetime matchup. Two teams with Super Bowl aspirations. The Indianapolis Colts hosting the New Orleans Saints. And we welcome you to the broadcast booth. Hi, everybody. Ian Eagle along with Dan Fouts. Great to be with you for another season of the NFL on CBS. Two teams that believe that they could be a part of the action in January and beyond. Preseason matchup, this third preseason game, usually the closest to the real thing.
Well, and we'll get to see the regulars for at least a half in this game. And because they're Super Bowl contenders, that makes this game a lot more interesting.
And one of those regulars is Drew Brees, quarterback of the New Orleans Saints. Hasn't played in the preseason. He's back in there tonight starting for the Saints.
Well, he hurt his left oblique muscle, letting one rip in his own words. It's a muscle that's important in the throwing motion as it pulls the upper body through on the throw. Told me yesterday he's 100% anxious to play here in Indiana where he started at Purdue, but he expects a lot of Boilermaker fans wearing blue and white tonight.
Yeah, a lot of those fans will be rooting for one Andrew Luck. He has been everything that the Colts could have hoped for coming out of Stanford in his first 2 years, back-to-back playoff appearances. You talk to Luck, you talk to the Colts, and they believe that he can take it to another level.
Well, backup quarterback Matt Hasselbeck told us Luck is obsessed with Colt football. Well, Colt football is obsessed with Andrew Luck. It's his house now. It's his team, and he knows that tonight will be a good test for the Colts, especially in the running game. If the Colts are to take that next step, they have to get more production out of their ground game.
All right, time right now to bring in the third member of our broadcast crew and a chance to welcome to the CBS Sports team, Jenny Dell, down on the sidelines. Jenny.
Well, thank you for the warm welcome. And the warm welcome that Trent Richardson received when he first came over to the Colts last September is now dwindling. He's had a chance to learn this offense. He claims that he's comfortable with Andrew Luck, and now he needs to perform. He's averaging just 2.4 yards per carry in the two preseason games. That's actually lower than the 2.9 yards per carry that he had last offseason. And when asked if he has a chip on his shoulder, he claimed very sternly, "I have a chip on both shoulders." Well, guys, it's time for him to produce here tonight.
All right, Jenny, thanks very much. That was a recurring theme, the chip on the shoulder with the Indianapolis Colts.
It's that motivation, self-motivation. You think if people are dissing you, you got to put something on your shoulder besides your pads.
Is that a chip on your shoulder?
No, that's lint.
That's a stain. Maybe dry cleaning would be an option. Saints have won the toss. They will receive Pat McAfee kicking off to Travaris Cadet. We are underway from Indy. Deep kick. And Cadet will take a knee. Saints will have it at the 20-yard line. Drew Brees, 3 straight 5,000-yard passing seasons, 4 overall, which is an NFL record.
Yeah, he's excited about the makeup of this team, too, with the veteran leadership, the bunch of guys that have been here for the culture change, as he calls it, and some bright young talent led by #1 pick Brandon Cooks out of Oregon State.
Brees, that strained left oblique he suffered on August 1st. He has not missed a regular season start since 2006. First and 10 from the 20 on a handoff. Mark Ingram will pick up 2 yards. Big year for Ingram. We talked about it with Richardson. Let's take a look at the starting offense for New Orleans. Up front, Jonathan Goodwin's in a battle with Tim Lolito to be the starter at center. Backs and receivers for the Saints, talented group. We mentioned Ingram. Jimmy Graham, given the big contract, lost some of that money after getting fined $30,000 for dunking the football twice last week in the win over Tennessee. Brees throws on second down, in stride, hits his man Pierre Thomas. Working the sideline. Thomas has kind of been the odd man out, but he's come out and said, hey, don't forget about me.
Well, he is the passing down specialist, great in pass protection, but also a very dependable receiver out of the backfield. Last season caught 77 passes for the Saints.
513 yards receiving, 3 touchdowns through the air. And a new set of downs for the Saints to work with on first and 10 at the 41. Back to the ground game. Ingram keeps the legs churning and then met by 3 or 4 Colts. They limit Ingram to a 2-yard gain, who lost his helmet in the process. Defensively for Indianapolis, Arthur Jones, big pickup from Baltimore, has a relationship going back with Chuck Pagano to the Ravens days. Linebackers, Bjorn Werner is in there. They're expecting big things from Werner in his second year from Florida State. And in the secondary, Mike Adams, the veteran, starting for the injured Delano Howell, who was out with a neck injury. They believe is getting closer to returning, though. Breeze, the pump and throw. Knocked away. Landry defending Colston.
Now, this is exactly what Chuck Pagano wants to see out of Landry. First of all, staying healthy, but also being able to make plays on the ball. Ball was slightly underthrown, perhaps a bad read by Breeze as a safety on the other side. Mike Adams was coming over to clean up on the receiver.
So Sean Payton's team now facing a 3rd and 8, first possession of the night here in Indianapolis. Breeze operating out of the gun. He's got Pierre Thomas to help block. Breeze throws sideline. Good hands hauled in by Colston. And a first down for the Saints working against Greg Toller. 12 yards through the air.
Yeah, the timing is absolutely perfect on this throw. Left side of the screen, a square out route. And nobody steps up in the pocket, has better pocket awareness than Drew Brees. Watch the move to the post right here. That gets the corner. A little bit of contact there. We didn't see a flag, thank goodness.
Breeze to throw it on first down. Dumps it off underneath, complete to Watson, the veteran tight end. Watson near first down yardage, hit down low by Toller, and give him a gain of 9 on the play. Breeze attended Purdue. He was a star there, 65 miles northwest of Indianapolis. First time he's played a game here at this beautiful stadium, Lucas Oil Stadium, which opened back in 2008. Second and 1 for New Orleans. In Colts territory on a give for Kyrie Robinson. He's got a first down. Robinson in his second year out of West Texas A&M. We mentioned it to Breeze, went to Purdue, came from Texas. We asked him, what schools did it come down to? He said it came down to Purdue, Kentucky, and Brown, the only 3 Division I offers he received.
And there are people in Texas still kicking themselves.
No doubt.
Going to high school in Austin, Texas, and doesn't even get a sniff from the Longhorns.
Over 50,000 career passing yards, 8-time Pro Bowler, Super Bowl MVP. Empty backfield out of the gun. Breeze gets rid of it quickly. Incomplete. Thomas working the perimeter. And it brings up 2nd and 10 now for the Saints. 11-5 last year, lost in the divisional round of the playoffs, 23-15 to the eventual Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks. Great at home, 8-0 at home, but 3-5 on the road. Double tight end set with Graham and Watson. Ingram in the backfield. 9th play of the drive. Give it to Ingram. Good cut and a hole. Ingram gets to the second level and a first down. Ben Grubbs creating some space up front. 17-yard rip for the 4th-year running back.
Well, as Watson comes across here, watch the hole open up right in here. Really good stretch play, but what you would love to see is this acceleration. That's the foot in the ground, a huge gaping hole for Ingram. The vision right there, and he'll go for 17 big ones.
Number 4 offense in the NFL last season, 399 yards per game. Breeze steps, Breeze fires, end zone, incomplete. Toller getting a piece in the back of the end zone. The intended receiver, Benjamin Watson.
Well, again, Breeze just a little bit off target here as Watson splitting out wide, gets inside Toller, ball slightly thrown behind. And that's a little bit of the rust that Breeze knows. Yep, that's my fault, Benjamin. You had him beat. I missed you.
Long drive to open up. 11th play, 2nd and 10 from the 15. Give it up to Robinson, Division II product. And not much there. Picks up 2 yards with Eric Walden making the stop for Indianapolis along with DeQuell Jackson, big free agent pickup from Cleveland. Andrew Luck waiting for his chance.
Yeah, nice and trim, too, with the beard. You see how he cleaned that thing up?
We had our meetings a couple of days ago, and it was a little bit out of control, and you did make mention of it. Well, a bearded man.
Well, I'm just trying to help the kid look good, and I think I succeeded. He looks great.
3rd and 8 now for the Saints. Breeze will run. Breeze slides inside the 5 and takes a shot at the end of the play. Mike Adams with the hit, but it's a 10-yard gain and a 1st and goal for New Orleans.
Well, it's pocket awareness, and then the whole pocket collapses for the Colts. And Breeze smartly hits the turf. He knows he needs about 7 to get the first down. He goes for 10 yards. Doesn't get the touchdown, but he doesn't get any big bruises either.
1st and goal. Saints looking to get on the board. Johnson in front of Ingram. Fake the handoff. Breeze throws. Johnson open. Johnson fighting for the end zone. He's in. Touchdown, Saints. Austin Johnson able to hit Eric Walden, who could not stop him at the goal line.
Well, he lands on top of Walden. That's why the fans were booing. They didn't think he got into the end zone, but landing on top of a defender is not landing on the ground. It's a scoring play, and that's a touchdown. It will be reviewed, but no question that Austin going low at 240 overpowers Eric Walden.
So Austin Johnson, first-year fullback out of Tennessee, undrafted free agent, getting an opportunity and putting points on the board for the Saints.
The question may be, did his left shoulder hit the ground before?
The ruling on the field has been confirmed. The runner was on a body. Touchdown.
Well, Bill Vinovich.
He answered that question, didn't he?
Yeah, pretty quickly.
Thank you,
Dan.
Bill.
So the extra point for the New Orleans Saints, and Shane Graham, who is in a battle with Derek Dimke, a first-year kicker from Illinois. Graham is the 15-year veteran. 13 plays, 80 yards. It took 5:27 off the clock. 7-0 lead for the Saints. Chuck Pagano's team down early. Drew Brees, he's back and as good as ever. Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints offense, they go 13 plays, 80 yards. Sean Payton told us doesn't expect to play Brees the entire first half. And certainly after a drive like that, a number of snaps, may not need to.
13 plays, real good balance, 6 runs and 7 passes. And Brees with a good throw to the fullback to get into that end zone.
Austin Johnson with a touchdown. Thomas Morstead, big kick. And it sails through the back of the end zone. Colts will have it at the 20. Andrew Luck and the Colts offense on the field when we return.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Verizon. More live games than ever before with NFL Mobile. Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by Burger King. Mix and match 2 large premium sandwiches only at Burger King.
Andrew Luck, more passing yards in his first 2 seasons than any quarterback in NFL history.
And according to his head coach, Chuck Pagano, he wills his team to wins. When things get tough, he gets better, always seems to find a way.
They will start with Trent Richardson in the backfield and a 4-receiver set on 1st and 10 from the 20. Saints have a 7-0 lead on Indianapolis. 9:33 to go in the first. Luck moving pocket, throws on time to Reggie Wayne. Wayne back in the lineup, torn ACL, right knee in October of last year against Denver. Starting offense. Jonathan Harrison getting the start at center. Khalid Holmes went down in the first preseason game with a sprained left ankle, but he's out of the walking boot. Backs and receivers, there is Reggie Wayne returning to action. Dwayne Allen is back this season. Akeem Nicks picked up from the Giants, and a penalty marker thrown on the far side.
Offense number 13, lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
T.Y. Hilton called for the penalty.
And that wasn't even a point of emphasis for, you would think about a wide receiver lining up for the first play of the game when it's going to go to Reggie Wayne in the neutral zone.
NFL trying to cut down on illegal contact, not necessarily wide receivers in the neutral zone. 1st and 15 for the Colts. Play fake. Luck, good protection. Throws. Akeem Nicks out on the perimeter. Nicks could turn out to be a huge pickup for this Colts offense. That's an 11-yard gain. Defensively for New Orleans, they surprised a lot of people last year, finished ranked 4th in the NFL. Cameron Jordan, a Pro Bowl. Linebackers, Junior Gillette had a breakout season, 12 sacks. And the secondary, there's a battle between Patrick Robinson and Champ Bailey for that starting cornerback spot, alongside Keenan Lewis. 2nd and 4 for the Colts. Luck pats the ball and throws. Incomplete. Telegraphed it. Reggie Wayne, the intended receiver, and Lewis with a strong read.
Yeah, Lewis should have picked that ball off and gone into the end zone. Luck even faked the ball to Reggie Wayne. That's a great job of coming off your primary responsibility. That's the principles of his zone defense here. Make a little bit of contact legally with the receiver going down the field and get your eyes on the quarterback, and Lewis almost had him a pick 6.
3rd and 4. Ahmad Bradshaw is in there, the former Giant. Bradshaw coming back from injury. Just 3 games last year because of a neck issue. Luck throwing. Rainbow delivery to Hilton. Incomplete. Hilton was out of bounds. And a little too much air under it from Luck. 4th down.
And just a second late, perhaps. Hilton is so fast that he got to the sideline before the ball did, and when he came down, clearly out of bounds.
Travaris Cadet, the return man. Pat McAfee, who averaged 46 yards per punt last season. A net of 38.1. Will boot it on 4th and 4. Cadet waiting for it at his own 25-yard line. Saints with a 7-0 lead. No rush. McAfee. Kick is sailing. Backpedaling is Cadet. Illegal block at the 17. The flag is down, and Cadet is bottled up short of the 30-yard line. 57-yard punt, 11-yard return.
You're going to get Pierre Warren for the illegal block there. Tremendous punt by McAfee. Great hang time.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Receiving team number 42. 10-yard penalty. New Orleans keeps the ball. 1st down. Timeout.
So back it up for the Saints. They've got a 7-0 advantage, and they've got the football. Hey, fantasy football fans, if you want the best fantasy games, it's time to play on the most awarded site. Create or join a league right now at cbssports.com/football. Saints have it, a 1st and 10 at their own 11-yard line, going against an Indianapolis defense that was ranked 20th last year. Chuck Pagano said that he feels like they're better than ever defensively. 3 years in the system, close to everybody being on the same page. Blast up the middle by Robinson, and he's cut down shy of the 15-yard line by DeQuell Jackson. They will not have that man, Robert Mathis, one of the most fearsome defensive players in the NFL. 19.5 sacks. He'll miss the first 4 games of the season. Suspended by the league after testing positive for Clomid, a fertility drug. So that's why the spotlight will be on Bjorn Werner, the 2nd-year defensive player out of Florida State. Robinson on the outside, and Werner there to make the stop. What'd you like about the first drive from New Orleans?
Well, Breeze hit 4 different receivers on the drive. Here is Pierre Thomas for 19. That got him out of a hole, and then a beautiful throw and catch by Colston, the 17-yard run by Ingram, and then the touchdown to the backup fullback, Austin Johnson.
Eric Lorig not available because of injury. He was the free agent pickup from Tampa Bay, signed to a 4-year, $4.8 million deal. 3rd and 3. Breeze dumps it off, and it will be enough for a 1st down. Looks like the spot is there for Pierre Thomas, hit by Shepard and Jackson. No Jarrell Freeman tonight.
Breeze does such a great job of hanging in there in the pocket and looking around, sees the entire field, and at 6 foot tall, it's amazing how he sees everything on the field. Look at him get up on his toes here and then find his outlet receiver for the 1st down.
So a new set of downs for the Saints to work with. Blocks in the motion man. Kyrie Robinson trip. Robinson comes up just short of the 25, 3 yards on the pickup for Robinson. They're mixing and matching at the running back spot, and this is what Chuck Pagano and the Indianapolis defense is dealing with the versatility of this Saints offense.
Well, Sean Payton told us that Ingram and Robinson are going to be the workhorse guys, and then Pierre Thomas, we've seen the versatility that he brings to the backfield.
2nd and 7 now for New Orleans. Come up on 6 minutes to play here in the first. Thomas in the backfield, 17 plays for the Saints, 3 for Indianapolis. Breeze steps up, throws, deep ball, dropped. Kenny Stills had it, but could not control it to the ground. Butler and Davis back deep for Indianapolis.
Now this ball is perfectly thrown by Breeze. Good job defensively. Look at that right hand get in there and rip it away. Almost intercepted and then almost caught again by Stills, but did not maintain the catch throughout the entire process of making the reception.
Stills averaged 20 yards a catch as a rookie last season. He has been out with a quad injury, so finally seeing some action. 3rd and 7 now. Saints are 3 of 3 on 3rd down. Breeze fires, incomplete. Looking for Colston. Darius Butler again in coverage, and the Saints will punt it. 5:46 to go in the opening quarter.
Yeah, Butler, 2 good plays in a row. That time just getting to Colston as the ball was arriving. The ball thrown a little bit wide by Breeze, but Butler up to the task, back-to-back plays.
Thomas Morstead, one of the best punters in the NFL, with Griff Whalen back deep for Indianapolis, standing at his own 25-yard line. Morstead gets it off. Whalen charging in, and fair catch called for at the 41. Can Andrew Luck find a rhythm here with the Colts offense? The Colts and the Saints tonight in primetime on CBS. Get ready for the biggest event of the fall when Thursday Night Football comes to CBS. This is the place to be starting September 11th. Your football week starts right here on CBS.
Yeah, the division rivalry format is what's going to keep everybody's attention on the Thursday night package.
And right out of the gate, not bad.
Not bad at all.
Pittsburgh and Baltimore. Back here at Lucas Oil Stadium, the Colts and the Saints. New Orleans with a 7-0 lead, 5:40 to play here in the first quarter. Richardson lines up behind Luck in the pistol, will now shift out of it and back behind him. 3 receivers set. Give it to Richardson. Stutter step. Richardson leans forward for a 5-yard pickup. Trent Richardson told us this is the best training camp that he's been a part of. He feels really comfortable. A year ago, he was in Cleveland. Colts are moving quickly here. 2nd and 5. Number 3 pick, a star coming out of Alabama. Richardson could run. Hit by Lofton on the outside. Gillette couldn't get him initially. It's a 9-yard pickup and a first down.
Well, and it's patience. He lets his blockers develop in front of him. They get out in front. Muhart, and then the power. Gets the first down. He bounces off of Junior Gillette. Picks up the first down.
Remember, Vic Ballard on injured reserve, torn left Achilles. He would have been in the mix at the running back spot. It's back-to-back years for Ballard. Richardson sets up as a receiver. Luck pump. Luck in some trouble. Gets out of it. Luck gets rid of it. Incomplete. And a flag thrown. Akeem Hicks.
Well, there's about 3 or 4 times they could have called Luck in the grasp if they're going to protect the quarterback. And they're going to get Hicks for the roughing the passer here.
Roughing the passer. Defense number 96. Driving the quarterback into the ground. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
At some point, Luck has stopped right there. And you wonder about Cameron Jordan not bringing him down, not wanting to draw a penalty himself as his hand hits the face mask of Luck. That should have been a penalty, but that definitely is a penalty there on Hicks.
There is the defensive coordinator, Rob Ryan, who turned this defense around last season and told us that he just got a sweet new haircut. But I don't see much of a change.
That's a little wavier. It's very stylish. He did think he looked sweet, though.
Line of scrimmage is the 31. That's a quote.
Yes, it's not for me.
Richardson with Luck. And here's Luck to throw it. Over the middle to Reggie Wayne. Penalty marker back at the 36-yard line.
This is going to be holding on the defense.
7-yard pickup. Coach Ryan not happy.
Illegal use of the hands. Hands in the face. Defense number 76. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
And that's back-to-back on Akeem Hicks. Third year in the NFL, a third-round draft pick.
Well, they have their choices here. You cannot hit the quarterback in the helmet. Luck takes a second shot there, but there's the hands to the face. Look like Muhart, the rookie out of Ohio State there, working against Akeem Hicks.
Muhart, second-round draft pick, and thrown into the fire. Played guard and tackle at Ohio State. First down for Indy, now coming up on 4 minutes to go here in the first. Double tight end set with Allen and Fleener. Deep drop. Luck has time. In stride, T.Y. Hilton takes a shot from Jarris Byrd. Three-time Pro Bowler who signed a huge deal. 6 years, $54 million during the offseason. And a 5-yard pickup for Hilton.
That's the amazing thing about T.Y. Hilton is that, you know, he's basically the fastest guy on this team, so you would expect him to be down the field deep all the time. He plays in the slot. He catches the tough ones over the middle. And at 5'9", 178 pounds or so, tough guy.
Dynamic speed, 4.3 40. In preparation for the draft, taken in the third round out of Florida International. 2nd and 5 now for the Colts. Luck to throw it again. Fires. Touchdown! Kobe Fleener wide open. Touchdown Colts. Fleener pump fake on the dunk. 21 yards.
Yeah, watch Fleener go right down the middle, and Lofton just lets him go. This is cover 2. You can see the safety split. Middle linebacker's responsibility is the tight end down the middle. A couple of Stanford guys hooking up for another touchdown.
Again, you think about all the options this Colts offense has for Andrew Luck to work with. Dwayne Allen is back. Allen was lost in the season opener to a hip injury last season. He's a major weapon. Fleener became a factor last year as well because of the injury to Allen. You can't do it any better. Luck to Fleener. Fleener, want a pump fake? That would cost you about 15 grand. Don't do it. Couple of penalties against New Orleans. Indianapolis takes advantage, and a 21-yard hookup. Luck to Fleener to tie this game up at 7-7. McAfee will kick it off. 3:19 to play here in the first. These two teams played Super Bowl after the 2009 season. Saints beat the Colts 31-17 in Miami. Drew Brees, the MVP. Cadet will not take it out, and the Saints will have it at the 20. Fleener decided not to go for the dunk, and a wise decision, and all of this stems from the Jimmy Graham play.
Yeah, against Atlanta, he went for the two-handed stuff here. That pulled the goalpost askew. And last week against Tennessee, the emotional guy went for a couple of dunks, 15 grand a piece, 30,000. I think they ought to give Fleener $3,000 for faking it.
Really, that's how it works?
Well, very creative, very entertaining, and didn't upset anybody.
2 unsportsmanlike conduct penalties against Graham last week led to those fines.
Well, the thing was, he did it in practice too, when there were some referees at practice during a scrimmage. So, you know, he's learned his lesson. He's an emotional guy. He's had a talk with the head coach. He knows that he doesn't want to do anything to hurt the team, and I don't expect him to ever do that again. His teammates might kill him if he did.
The NFL came out and said that will not be allowed anymore. Basically the Jimmy Graham rule. So he gets a rule named after him, but he doesn't get to dunk anymore, which our colleague Tony Gonzalez did for years. The throw, Brees, perfectly thrown ball to Graham. What a weapon. Jimmy Graham Two-time Pro Bowler, signed that 4-year, $40 million deal during the offseason. He got separation from DeQuell Jackson.
Really a tough assignment for a middle linebacker. How good is this throw, though? Right over the top of DeQuell Jackson. He's only 6 feet tall, so not that difficult to get the ball over. But again, Breeze looking through his face mask, rising to his toes, and delivering another perfect strike for 38.
On a give, Robinson breaks one tackle and then bottled up at the 35. Let's get more on Jimmy Graham from Jenny Dell downstairs.
Just to add to what you were saying, Jimmy Graham, before he was even fined the $30,000, he realized this past week that he has to stop dunking. He did say, I have a lot of passion for the game. When I go out there on Sundays, it's fun, and I feel and act like a little kid sometimes. For 4 years and however many touchdowns, I've always dunked it. Now I learned I need to stop. Guys.
And Jenny, that wasn't the only issue last week. They had 22 penalties for 184 yards. Breeze, deep ball. Flag down. Colston with Toller.
And it's going to be illegal contact on Toller. Or is it going to be pushing off on Colston? It is on Colston.
Pass interference. Offense number 12. 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
Not a point of emphasis, but a call nonetheless here in the third preseason game for these two teams.
You can almost hear all the defensive backs in the NFL applauding this call, because that was definitely a push-off by Colston, as he could also call it hands to the face as well, as he went right up into the face mask of Toller to push him to the ground.
Marcus Colston now in his 9th year, the Saints' all-time leader in all receiving categories. What a career he's had out of Hofstra. 4th penalty against the Saints. We're down to 1:40 to go here in the first. Shotgun for Breeze. Set up the screen. Pierre Thomas turns it upfield. Thomas down the sideline. Takes a shot from Landry. And that's the value that Thomas brings. Grubbs up front. Good win. Jari Evans creating extra room.
Well, Bjorn Werner should have made the tackle. 92, left side of the screen, has him right there. Good leg strength to pull out of that tackle and then get some help down the sidelines. Another big play for Pierre Thomas. 26 yards into the red zone.
Line of scrimmage is now the 19. We come up on 1 minute to play here in the first. Motion man is Graham. On the ground for Ingram. Spilled out as he picks up a couple of yards. Corey Redding, the veteran, the first man there, one of the leaders of this defense for Indianapolis.
This first quarter really has the feeling of a regular season game, as we've got an injured Colt down. Arthur Jones.
It is. Jones on his back, the former Baltimore Raven, won a Super Bowl with the Ravens. Signed a 5-year, $30 million deal. Of course, his brother Chandler with New England. His other brother John, you might know him, UFC light heavyweight champion, who's dealing with an injury himself right now. They will help the 337-pound Arthur Jones off his back. 53 seconds to play here in the first. Playing without Robert Mathis. So down an impact defender without Jarrell Freeman as well. And Jones up on his feet. Jones appears to be okay. Sean Payton getting a little FaceTime with Bill Vinovich.
The pace of this first quarter has just been phenomenal. The Saints have run 24 plays already.
Last season, the Colts led the NFL in players on injured reserve. 17, not a category that you want to be at the top of the list of. Zach Kerr steps in for Jones. 2nd and 8 now for New Orleans. Down to 45 seconds to play here in the first. Breeze throws incomplete. And another penalty flag. Colston, the intended target, matched up with Darius Butler.
They may get Butler for a hold here. Might have grabbed the jersey.
Pass interference. Defense number 20. Spot foul. Automatic first down.
It is Butler. Notice there is a new look for the officials, that headset.
Yeah.
And they've got a little communication device that they can talk with one another.
Well, it would seem it would speed things up.
No doubt.
The communication a lot quicker.
Instead of running 40 yards to relay your message. On first down, play fake. Breeze in trouble, flings the ball. Incomplete. Threw it near Benjamin Watson. Bjorn Werner there defensively. 2nd and 10 for the Saints.
Yeah, Werner with another attempt at bringing down a Saint there, but that was a real risky throw. Zach Kerr, the rookie out of Delaware, who's replacing Arthur Jones, came real close to picking it off.
Down to 36 seconds to go here in the first. Kyrie Robinson back in for New Orleans. 4 receivers set from the gun. Breeze sets, throws, end zone, caught, touchdown, Marcus Colston. Tremendous chemistry between Breeze and Colston all those years.
Well, the advantage is Colston is 6'4", and again working against DeQuell Jackson right down the middle of the field. Look at the footwork there by Colston. Knows exactly where he is on the football field. And so does Drew Brees. 2nd touchdown of the first quarter for Drew Brees. I think he's ready to play and has deserved a rest on the bench after these first 2 series.
Think we could be seeing Luke McCown pretty soon?
Well, it would be wise. I mean, what more do you want to see out of Drew Brees at this point?
Marcus Colston, 6 1,000-yard seasons in his career. He's been so consistent for the Saints. A 7th-round draft pick back in 2006. Shane Graham, the extra point. And the Saints with a 14-7 lead here in the first. They call themselves Scorpion. 4 of the smartest people in the world working together to fight threats against America. Inspired by a true story, Scorpion. Mondays this fall only CBS. So Drew Brees, 9 of 14.
Yeah, for 128, a couple of touchdowns. He's missed a couple of throws. He's got great protection, but he's happy about his performance. And I think that Sean Payton would be wise to take a look at Luke McCown and also Ryan Griffin, who are in a pretty good battle for the backup spot. Griffin's been very impressive in the preseason so far. And Luke McCown, an 11-year veteran.
Andrew Luck, 3 of 5, 37 yards, the touchdown to Fleener here in the first quarter. We asked Breeze exactly how did the injury happen. He said he's never had anything like it before. Left oblique issue. It started in the weight room, felt some discomfort, but figured he'd work his way through it. And then he just let a pass go in practice and knew it right away that something was awry.
Yeah, I mean, this was just after he said he wanted to play till he's 45 years old. And I think the karma gods of football tapped him on the shoulder. But this is what he's done this evening in just the first quarter. You know, delivering the ball to a number of receivers with good pass protection, finding the mismatch that is so important in this age of football. The big receivers on a linebacker, 6 different receivers for those 9 completions.
Breeze was actually excited to play here. They practiced here in 2008. They were evacuated from New Orleans because of Hurricane Gustav and actually came here. But that was it. That was his only experience inside this stadium. Obviously a deep connection to the state of Indiana after starring at Purdue. 1st and 10, Luck off the play fake. Intercepted. Kenny Vaccaro ranging over for the pick. Kobe Fleener the intended target. Luck had just 9 interceptions last year. Coaching staff asked him to cut down in that category, and he did from his rookie year.
Well, Fleener got behind Vaccaro. The ball's underthrown. As you can see, both players coming back for the ball, but just 12 interceptions for the Saints all season last year. Vaccaro, already in the preseason, has been involved in a number of big plays, including turnovers like that one.
And that's what Rob Ryan talked about. If they're going to be a great defense, special, they're going to have to improve in that category. Luke McCown is in, now running the show for New Orleans. So Drew Brees, his evening is done, his preseason debut. McCown, the 11-year veteran, throws. Drop ball by Jimmy Graham in a matchup with Werner.
Yeah, Greg Minuski, defensive coordinator for the Colts, brought the heat that time. DeQuell Jackson, instead of playing pass defense, was on the blitz. And Minuski says enough of this time to throw for Saints quarterbacks, although that ball was perfectly delivered by McCown and a flat drop by Graham.
Pierre Thomas in for New Orleans. 22 seconds left here in the first. Luke McCown, a fourth-round draft pick back in 2004. Hands it off to Thomas. A little bit of a delay just getting that exchange going, and Thomas able to motor for an 8-yard pickup, chased down by Eric Walden. And that'll be the final play of this first quarter. At the end of one, the Saints leading the Colts 14-7. We'll return to Naptown after these messages. Start of the second quarter, Saints leading the Colts 14-7. Ian Eagle along with Dan Fouts, the rest of our CBS crew here in Indianapolis. Drew Brees, you just assumed that there would be a little bit of rust. His first preseason action, he looked extremely sharp.
Well, he's reading the defense, number one. He's distributing the ball to 6 different receivers. He's finding the mismatch. He looks in midseason form.
But that's it for Brees. McCown is in. And here's Thomas for New Orleans. Pierre Thomas showing that he still has a lot left in his 8th year out of Illinois. DeQuell Jackson missed initially, and Thomas able to take it for extra yards. Came off limping just a bit, trying to jog through the issue. Look at the time of possession right now in favor of the Saints.
Yeah, and Thomas says, you know, of course, Ingram and Robinson are good friends, but he says they're going to have to outwork me.
Yeah.
You know, and he's more versatile than the other two. He wants more playing time, which is good and natural.
Play fake. McCown. Deep ball is too strong. Incomplete. Nick Toon, the 3rd-year wideout from Wisconsin, the son of former Pro Bowler Al Toon with the New York Jets. The intended receiver on that play. Greg Toller back there defensively for the Colts. Just underway here in the second quarter. Ian Eagle, Dan Fouts, Jenny Dell. Great to be with you from Indianapolis.
52.
Ricky Jean-Francois is in. 2nd and 10. McCown underneath. The curl by Graham. And Graham to the 20-yard line. That's good enough for another first down. 11-yard pickup.
We've seen with Graham's multiple skills, but I think this is underrated. His ability to run after the catch. The explosion here, he pivots away from Jackson and gets enough for another Saint first down. But at 6'7", 265, runs like a wide receiver and still has the quickness to maneuver inside.
13 first downs in this first half for the Saints. Give it to Ingram. Ingram lifted off the ground by Adams. 7-yard pickup as Ingram goes airborne.
The low man wins, and Adams went low, and then he dunked him. This is a dunk right here. Ingram with a good job of getting his left hand down to cushion the blow.
Good sign for Indianapolis. Arthur Jones is back in there for the Colts. 2nd and 3. Ingram with 33 rushing yards. McCown operating out of the gun. Is sacked. Eric Walden getting to the quarterback for Indy.
He had 3 sacks last season, and here he is working against Teron Armstead, 2nd-year player, and the speed rush. And what a great example to have to be able to work with Robert Mathis, and of course before that Dwight Freeney. The speed rushers, no two better than those two. 9-yard loss.
It's a 3rd and 12 now for McCown and the Saints. Play clock is down to 2. McCown to throw it. Incomplete, off the hands of Watson. 4th down, New Orleans. Looking at a 40-yard attempt here. Shane Graham, the veteran, will get the opportunity. Pro Bowler back in 2005. Over 1,100 career points. And his career has come full circle. His first NFL tryout was with New Orleans back in 2000. Didn't make the team. Officially a 39-yard attempt for the veteran Graham. From 39 yards away, Graham knocks it through, and the Saints add to their lead. 17-7. Maggie Q and Dylan McDermott star in the new CBS drama, Stalker. The obsession begins Wednesdays this fall after Criminal Minds, only CBS. Thomas Morstead will kick it off to Indianapolis. Daniel Herron is the deep man for the Colts. And a touchback. Herron never got the opportunity to take it out. Andrew Luck in this first half. He will continue with the first team offense.
He got the benefit of a couple of penalties on the previous drive to start the into the first quarter. Then this beautiful 21-yard strike to a wide open tight end, but then trying to go back to Fleener, underthrows him, and Vaccaro is there for the pick.
We have yet to see Champ Bailey, who is looking to make his Saints debut. Patrick Robinson has been playing at that cornerback spot. Bailey, the 12-time Pro Bowler, signed in the offseason, came over from Denver. Hand off to Richardson. Nothing there. Richardson driven backwards. They'll give him forward progress to the line of scrimmage, but Junior Gillette getting the better of the matchup.
Yeah, the Saints really played that well. They really got off the line and stretched him to the sidelines and give him no cutback lane at all. Champ Bailey looking strange wearing a number 27. Guess Corey White didn't want to give up the 24.
Participated in team drills for the first time since July 31st. Dealing with a foot injury. 2nd and 10. Luck. Low throw is handled, and Dwayne Allen takes the shot. 5-yard pickup. We asked Sean Payton about Champ Bailey. He said hopes to get him about 15 snaps in this game, but they're not going to push it.
Well, with his age and the fact that he's been injured in the foot, has got to be a major concern. I know if I'd seen a defensive back like that, I might have tested him a little bit.
3rd and 5 now for the Colts. Trying to get something going here on offense in the second quarter. Working out of the gun. Rush is coming. Luck. Connection made. Dwayne Allen. He's got a first down. Allen, who had an outstanding rookie season but injured last year, and Junior Gillette is the injured Saint on the play. 8-yard pickup. So Gillette is down. Medical staff is out there to check on him. We'll step aside.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Bud Light, who reminds fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. CenturyLink, your link to what's next. And by Quicken Loans, for a mortgage experience that's engineered to amaze.
Junior Gillette did walk off on his own. Will work with the training staff now along the New Orleans sideline.
Yeah, it appeared he might have pulled a muscle in his side. I'm going to check him out. His legs are okay. Walked off with ease.
Keontae Dawson replaces him. First down for Indianapolis. 10:42 to go in this first half. Allen, the motion man. Little jump. Luck off play action. Dials up the deep ball. Intercepted. Keenan Lewis. Terrific ball skills.
And
they're going to roll it
the ground. Yep.
Incomplete on the juggle. T.Y. Hilton, the intended receiver.
Well, Keenan Lewis is going to be step for step
Rolling on the field
with
is an
T.Y.
incomplete
Hilton.
pass.
This ball just put up for grabs by Luck. The official that was right behind this play made the call of incomplete. And this is what he saw. Boy, that looks like a catch, although his back did shield us from the ball. The
I
pressure
thought he
right there from
cradled it, no?
Dawson. Yeah, that looked like it could have been a catch.
2nd and 10 for Indianapolis. Luck with a drop and throw, too high. Griff Whalen, his Stanford teammate, the intended receiver, and a penalty marker thrown at the 46.
You're going to get Corey White for holding Kobe Fleener on the crossing route.
Holding. Defense number 24. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Let's go back to the near interception by Keenan Lewis. Going for the ball at its highest point. His eyes are on it. He grabs it. I did not see any juggle there at all. You can have the ball hit the ground as long as you're in control of the ball. But no challenge from Sean Payton.
17-7 lead for the Saints. 5 penalties against New Orleans. Something Sean Payton said would be cleaned up from last week. Give it to Richardson. And that initial wave slowed him down. And then they set the edge. David Hawthorne with a good play and a gain of a half a yard.
Go back to the Gillette injury, Ian. Working against Anthony Costanzo with the speed rush here. And he just appeared right about there to something on his left side. Must have pulled. Maybe an oblique.
Really?
That's the muscle of choice today.
Dr. Fouts.
I play one on television.
Paging Dr. Fouts. 2nd and 9. Drop ball by T.Y. Hilton.
Yeah, the Colts are just out of sync, aren't they? I mean, Luck isn't getting enough time to throw, and when he does have the time to throw, his receivers are betraying him. This ball well thrown by Luck. Like Hilton was ready to see what he could do with it after the catch as he looked around, trying to find out where Hawthorne is.
Ahmad Bradshaw is in. He sets up just to the side of Luck on a 3rd and 9 for Indianapolis. Bradshaw, good blocker, good receiver. On 3rd down, Luck looking downfield. Incomplete. Trying to hit Dante Moncrief, the rookie out of Mississippi, 3rd-round draft pick, matched up with Patrick Robinson, and the Colts will punt. So Andrew Luck, 5 of 12, 50 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Pat McAfee will punt it. Travaris Cadet waiting for it at his own 8-yard line. 33 plays on offense for New Orleans, 16 for Indianapolis. Working the sideline, out of bounds. Right at the 10. That's where the Saints will have it. McAfee, nice stroke. 17-7, the Saints leading the Colts. 9:28 to play in the first half. New Orleans will be going with a 2nd unit offensive line, so they're making changes. Well, Saints fan showing up here in Indy and bringing some face paint. Sean Payton has to be happy with what he saw from the first team offense led by Drew Brees. 9 of 14, 128 yards, 2 touchdowns. All in the first quarter. Ingram spilled out. Eric Walden there defensively, a 3-yard pickup. The Saints last year, Sean Payton returned, and what a difference he made on the sidelines. Drew Brees leading the way to an 11-5 season, their 4th 11-plus win season over the last 5 years. Winning on the road, that was an issue, and it was an issue in the playoffs. They lost in Seattle in the divisional round. But that connection between Payton and Brees in their 8 years together. Ingram up the middle. Ingram breaks a tackle, then slammed down by Landry. But Sergio Brown couldn't bring him down initially. 8-yard gain for Mark Ingram.
That's just a classic I formation blast play where he sent the tailback back about 8 yards, and he uses his ability and vision to see that hole right there. Senio Clemente with a good job there, and the explosion by Ingram. He looks sharp tonight.
And a good pronunciation from you.
De nada.
Clemente from Washington. Robinson, the ball carrier, 4-yard pickup. Kerr and Shepard combined to bring him down.
Well, both guards, Grubbs and Evans, battled injuries the first couple of preseason games, so Clemente got a lot of playing time, and you can never get enough experience as a backup offensive lineman because you got to normally play more than just one position.
Tim Lolito is now in at center, second year out of Grand Valley State, in a battle with the veteran Jonathan Goodwin. Came over from San Francisco for the center spot. Low throw. Watson, the intended receiver. DeQuell Jackson drawing the tight end in coverage.
And Lolito shows versatility because last year he played guard, so you never know where injuries are going to strike. And when you've got a quarterback like Breeze, who's so important and so dynamic, protection #1 for the offensive line.
The word on Junior Gillette, just had the wind knocked out of him.
Yeah, you believe that?
Well, just reporting.
That's a good job of reporting.
3rd and 6 for the Saints. Luke McCown replacing Drew Brees. McCown under pressure, avoids it. McCown looking for the marker, and he gets there. First down for the Saints. Werner and Jackson provided the pressure. 7-yard gain as we set it downstairs. Jenny Dell standing by with the perennial Pro Bowler, Reggie Wayne.
Reggie, your first game appearance since tearing that ACL back on October 20th. How did it feel to be back out there?
It felt good. Everything felt normal, and that's what I expected. You know, it's kind of funny. Coach said you got about 8 to 10 plays, and you feel like that's a perfect number. But once you go out there and start playing and get involved, you feel like that's not enough. So with the short time I was out there, I felt pretty normal.
Normally week 4 isn't for the starters out there, but do you feel like you'll have some game time play out there in week 4?
I'm just here to serve. And if Coach Pagano tells me to suit up and go out there and get more reps, then that's what I'll do. But if he tells me to sit back and relax and get ready for week 1, I also do that. So I'm just here just doing what I'm asked to do, and we go from there.
I have to ask, something that you always do is show up to that practice training in a unique way. This time at IndyCar, where did that all come about?
It actually was Plan B. I refuse to say what Plan A was. Maybe I get another shot to do that. But I get a lot of advice from the fans. A lot of people come with different things, and Ed Carpenter, he was able to bring me in the IndyCar. And I'm a guy that loves cars and loves speed. And once that came up, everything else had to come second fiddle. So it was a great experience. After actually doing it, you gain a lot more respect for those guys and what they do.
Thank you very much. Good luck this season. Back to you guys.
All right, Jenny, thanks very much. Yes, he's had some grand arrivals to training camp through the years. Reggie Wayne this year in the IndyCar. 2nd and 10 now. McCown pump and throws it to the ground. Incomplete. Pierre Thomas, the intended receiver. Let's take you back. 2009, he came in with a dump truck. 2012, military Humvee with the Indiana National Guard, and a helicopter in 2013. Here's the IndyCar, and there's Reggie Wayne.
That's not a bad helmet to wear in a football game.
Not bad. Good protection. Reggie was campaigning for playing time this week, texting Coach Chuck Pagano, and he did not receive any return texts from the coach. McCown zigzags out of trouble. McCown down the sideline and out of bounds. Terrific run by McCown. Darius Butler missed early, and McCown made him pay to the tune of 28 yards on the scramble.
Well, they picked up a first down with a head-first slide just moments ago, and now there's the miss by Butler. And McCown, of course, fighting for the backup job behind Drew Brees. Greg Minuski on the sidelines got to be saying, hey, guys, that's a quarterback in his 11th year, and you give him 28 yards?
122 rushing yards now for New Orleans in this first half. 10th play of the drive. Robinson brought down after the gain of 1. Cam Johnson in on that stop. Frustrating night for Andrew Luck and the Indy offense, but equally frustrating now for the Colts defense. They trail 17-7, and the Saints looking for more.
Good competition at the wide receiver spot, too, for the Saints. Robert Meacham in a battle with Nick Toon. We've not seen Brandon Cooks tonight. Probably won't because of the fever he had earlier in the week.
2nd and 9 for New Orleans. McCown gets rid of it quickly. Thomas breaks a tackle. Thomas lunges inside the 5.
Now, Vontae Davis misses a tackle, and this is getting to be a theme for the defensive backs for the Colts recently. There's the missed tackle by Davis. And you wonder about the limited number of practices now that NFL teams have, and it really shows up in poor tackling early in the season or in the preseason. Good example of poor tackling there.
17 yards on the catch and run. 1st and goal for the Saints. Give up the middle. Thomas trying to push the pile. LaRon Landry among the first ones there for Indianapolis to make sure Thomas didn't take it into the end zone. It'll be 2nd and goal for the Saints. Sean Payton, we asked him about training camp and how everything's going. He said you go through a checklist in the offseason, your must moves, your wants, your needs. The draft will sort itself out over time, but was just excited just to get some healthy bodies back into action, certainly on defense, to see those 11 guys play together for the first time, including Jared Bird. 2nd and goal. McCown out of the pocket. McCown looking, throws, incomplete. In the vicinity of Robert Meacham, Cam Johnson put the pressure on McCown.
And all the Saint receivers are at the same depth in the end zone, about 3 to 5 yards. And what normally happens at this type of situation is if you go to the back of the end zone, the defense won't go with you. So that's where you find the touchdowns on scramble plays like that. Remember the Montana to Dwight Clark throw to won the 49ers a big playoff game against the Dallas Cowboys.
Pete Carmichael calling the plays for New Orleans, now in his 9th year on the Saints coaching staff. 14th play of the drive. 3rd and goal. And flags come down.
Delay a game.
Delay game. Offense number 7. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
You know, with the coaches calling the plays, they really ought to say delay a game on the coaches.
You're going to pin it on them?
Well, they're late getting the play in. There's no question about it. I mean, McCown was waiting. And, you know, it's preseason for the coaches as well. Pete Carmichael, offensive coordinator, Sean Payton, putting their heads together on the sideline, calling these plays.
It's never on the player, Dan, is it, with you?
Well, I threw 242 interceptions, and not one of them was my fault.
Coryell. 3rd and goal. McCown, incomplete. Trying to hit Watson. Kelvin Shepard, the former Buffalo Bill, the linebacker there defensively.
You can't get better coverage than this without interfering. He's controlling the receiver. May have gotten away with a little bit of a grab. Good job by Shepard.
Short field goal attempt here for Shane Graham. 24-yard attempt for Graham to give New Orleans a little extra room here in the first half. Nails the 24-yarder. It's 20-7. Saints. Ask if your child's coach is USA Football certified. Visit usafootball.com to learn more. 20-7, the Saints leading the Colts. We've got 3 minutes left in the first half. Morstead will kick it off to Daniel Herron of Indianapolis. And Morstead continues to knock that ball through the back of the end zone.
The Colts have only run 15 plays in the first half, and most of them have been bad. Interception by Vaccaro there. Richardson not get going on the running game, and then Luck having a drop pass by Hilton. And then the overthrow to Moncrief on the sidelines. We'll see what Luck can do here with the 2-minute drill, and I expect him to come back to start the second half to see if the Colts can get something going in this 3rd preseason game.
Only 64 total yards of offense for Indianapolis. Not just the game itself, according to Andrew Luck as a dress rehearsal, but the whole week. The routine of the week feels like a regular season game. You're out of training camp, you're back in your facility, you're sleeping in your own bed. Hand off to Bradshaw. Second effort will get him back to the line of scrimmage. Curtis Lofton holding on. Talented linebacker, signed that big deal last year coming over from Atlanta. And Lofton emerged immediately as a leader defensively for New Orleans. Elected a team captain last season.
4 down. Mike 50, Mike 50.
Second and 10 for the Colts. We're down to 2.5 to play in this second quarter.
Bears window.
Gillette is back in for New Orleans. Champ Bailey seeing action for the first time tonight. Luck underneath. Sidearm to Bradshaw. Bradshaw weaving his way through traffic for a first down. 11-yard gain. And a good sign for Bradshaw to get out there and make something happen. There's Champ Bailey, future Hall of Famer. We'll hit the 2-minute warning here in Indy. Colts are in a hole, 20-7 against the Saints. Coming up, Verizon Halftime Report. Our new NFL Today crew will take a look at the upcoming season, plus a report from the Barclays. That's coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. Speaking of golf.
We're here with Sir Nick Faldo.
Look, I've progressed to the 35, is that right? Yeah. It is 25. 35 this is 35, and I'm going for the snap. What's that?
Very confident in the approach.
Well, you know, his left elbow was bent. He didn't get his hips through, and his head came up too fast. And that's why he tugged that one way into the out of bounds.
Very good tip there, Rolf Bernerschka.
Stroke and distance.
Was that a mulligan, maybe? Could he take a mulligan on that?
He's Sir Nick Faldo. He demands mulligans.
2 minutes to play in this first half. It all looked good.
Except his outfit.
Yeah. The throw to Fleener, but it's short of a first down. Down to 1:50 to play. First half. David Hawthorne there defensively, and they will give him forward progress enough. Out across the 40-yard line. Luck moving quickly here. Luck in trouble. He is sacked. Cameron Jordan. At his breakthrough season last year, Jordan with 12.5 sacks. We talked to him. He said that even though they were ranked number 4 last year in team defense, he believes they can take a step forward this year. And he really gives a lot of credit to Rob Ryan for creating an identity on D. Got the most out of them individually and collectively.
And he looked around the defensive meeting one day. He's only in his 4th year. He realized he's the only guy on the defense that played in the Super Bowl.
So Cameron Jordan.
And I asked him about the Cal Stanford thing. He went to California. Luck obviously to Stanford. Asked him, did you sack Luck at Stanford? Says probably. He did tonight.
He challenged us to go look it up. We did. Luck on a pump fake. Out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Flag thrown at the 48. 6-yard gain for Luck. Busy man preseason, Bill Vinovich.
Stanley Jean-Baptiste with the illegal contact.
Holding. Defense number 33. 5-yard penalty from the end of the run. Automatic first down.
So first down for the Colts. 1:27 to go in the second quarter.
And he's going to reach out and take a grab of Moncrief's jersey. Tried to grab his towel there to try to push him out of bounds. All that is illegal. Whether it's a point of emphasis or not.
7 penalties, 55 yards against New Orleans. Flags down. Luck steps up. Luck slowed down, hit as he throws, and recovered by Thornton. Junior Gillette knocking the ball free and getting to the quarterback.
Well, Luck knew he had a free play. He drew the Saints offside, so he's going to do everything he can to launch that ball down the field. Stepped up into the pocket. It's going to be offsides against the Saints.
Defense number 97. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
It's Glenn Foster, second-year defensive lineman from Illinois.
And you talked about those penalties last week. 22 were accepted. 28 were called against the Saints.
4 down. Mike 50. Running 5-7. Running.
31-24 win over Tennessee last week. Again, doing it without Drew Brees. Luck with a deep drop. Fires in stride to Whalen. And the Colts are on the move inside the 30-yard line of New Orleans. 23-yard hookup.
Now this is where Luck is so good, buying a little bit of time. We've seen how effective Brees is moving in the pocket. Just a little bit of a shift to the outside by Luck gave Whalen time on the crossing route. And Luck throws very accurately when he's not even setting his feet.
First and 10 at the 27. 1:14 left on the clock. Bradshaw lines up behind Luck. Allen, the motion man for Indy. Here's Luck. Luck will run. Luck up the middle and goes down short of the 10-yard line. That's 16 yards for Luck. Good decision using his legs.
Yeah, they're going to burn their first time out here. That's a smart move here. Get Luck to the sidelines, get the guys a breather here. They have a lot of time with 2 timeouts to go to get into the end zone. But that's the hidden talents of Andrew Luck, especially in the hurry-up offense. When defenders are turning their back to the quarterback, playing man-to-man, there's nobody accounting for number 12, and he makes the Saints pay.
Tremendous poise, so polished for a young guy, now in his 3rd year, Pro Bowls in each of his first 2 seasons in the NFL. They use the timeout, Dan, as you mentioned, stop the clock with 1:08 to play. Plenty of time to work with here. Luck in his first 2 years, Peyton Manning his first 2 years with the Colts.
And both of them inherited bad teams. Manning's was 3-13 before he was drafted, and before Luck was drafted, the Colts were 2-14.
Shotgun. Handoff. Bradshaw banged down. That's a 3-yard gain for Bradshaw. Bush and Gillette making the stop for New Orleans. We are under a minute to play now in this first half.
And keep your eye on Dwayne Allen down here. He's the tight end.
Mike 50. Rock.
Right here, so dangerous.
9th play of the drive. Luck to throw it. Luck to the goal line. It's caught, but short. Hakeem Nicks with 34 seconds left. It'll be 1st and goal from the 1.
Nicks gives you the big body down here, too. At 6'1", 208 pounds. He ran that route perhaps a yard shy. If he catches that ball across the goal line, it's a touchdown. He was just a yard shy at the 1-yard line. Big catch in traffic, though.
Big upgrade for Indianapolis at that position, replacing Darius Hayward-Bay now with Pittsburgh. Nicks, I think he likes it here in Indy. He had 10 catches for 109 yards in the Super Bowl here for the New York Giants. Nicks, his play, it fell off the last 2 years by his own admission. And we asked him about the 1-year deal that he signed. He said he was willing to take the 1-year deal to prove that he's one of the best wide receivers in the game. He was another guy that had a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, and no touchdowns last year for the Giants will put a chip on your shoulder.
6 offensive linemen trying to get it in with 34 seconds left. Luck on a give. Bradshaw is drilled. The Saints were ready right up the gut. David Hawthorne leading the charge for New Orleans.
And it makes you wonder why Trent Richardson isn't in the game. At 5'9", 225, a little bit bigger back than Bradshaw. But the Saints do a great job here. Lofton and Jordan. A super job. The penetration at the 2nd level was what keeps Bradshaw going backwards.
Indianapolis has used its final timeout. Pep Hamilton calling the plays. There is Trent Richardson in spectator mode along the sideline.
Now this is where you got to take advantage of Luck's mobility on a sprint out of some type, a little bootleg action. They're obviously not going to run the ball in, as he's the only guy in the backfield unless they're thinking about a quarterback draw.
2nd and goal.
390!
There's the moving pocket. Luck throws, incomplete. Not sure T.Y. Hilton expected it. Cameron Jordan getting the body in on Andrew Luck.
Well, Luck took his time trying to find T.Y. T.Y. looked like his left foot may have been out of bounds, but he flat dropped that ball. But I think you're right, and he wasn't expecting it, and it was a fastball from Luck.
12th play coming up. Bradshaw remains in there. 3rd and goal for Indianapolis. Looking to climb back into it. Luck from the gun. Rifles incomplete. Fleener in the back of the end zone. Raphael Bush there defensively. They will send out Adam Vinatieri for the field goal try.
Now the depth at safety has been improved by Rob Ryan and this defense. That ball has to be thrown back there because of the coverage on Bush on the front side. Tough attempt by Fleener.
20-yard field goal try for Adam Vinatieri. Still going. Oldest player in the NFL at 41 years old. Splits the uprights and cuts into the New Orleans lead. Now 20-10 Saints. Don't forget, coming up, Verizon halftime report. NFL Today crew with some new faces. We'll take a look at the upcoming season. Plus a report from the Barclays. That's coming up on the Verizon halftime report. Indianapolis Colts, 11 playoff appearances since 2002, the most in the league over that span. They have gotten used to winning here in Indy. AFC South champions last year, the 8th time that they've won the division since 2003. How about some impressions from this first half, what you've seen from these two teams?
Well, obviously the play of Breeze and the first team offense of the Saints was as good as you can expect, and they are ready for the regular season. The Colts, on the other hand, are not ready for the regular season. Too many miscues, not enough momentum on offense, although you'd expect Luck at the end of the first half do exactly what he did, hitting 4 of 6 receivers on the drive, but could not get it in the end zone.
McAfee kicks it through the back of the end zone. Saints will have it at the 20. 13 seconds left to play in this first half. Luke McCown replaced Drew Brees, and McCown will head out onto the field for the tail end of this second quarter. Ryan Griffin is the other quarterback battling for a spot behind Brees. Griffin, a second-year QB from Tulane. McCown has played with Cleveland, Tampa Bay, Jacksonville, Atlanta. Brother Josh is in Tampa Bay as the starting QB. And that'll do it for this first half. New Orleans heads to the locker room with a 20-10 lead on the Indianapolis Colts here at Lucas Oil Stadium. Downstairs, Jenny Dell with Coach Chuck Pagano.
Coach, down by 10, solid final drive, but unable to capitalize. What adjustments did this team need to make in the half?
Well, we're just getting outplayed right now. You know, they're playing harder. They're beating us at, fundamental football. We're giving up big plays on defense. We're not tackling very well. They're running the ball effectively. They've made big plays. We haven't, and we haven't been able to get off on third down.
Can we expect to see Andrew Luck and company back out after the half?
We'll go in and take a look at it, see how many plays we played on offense, and then make a decision on that.
Thanks, Coach. Ian, back to you.
All right, Jenny. Well done. 20-10, the Saints leading the Colts. The New Orleans Saints first team offense looking strong. We'll come back to Verizon halftime report after this message and a word from your local station. This is the NFL on CBS. Part of the third quarter here in Indianapolis, 20-10, the Saints leading the Colts. Welcome back, everybody. Ian Eagle, Dan Fouts. Big question, does Chuck Pagano send Andrew Luck out and the first-team offense in the second half?
Well, he said they were outplayed, and one way to get him to get something going offensively is obviously bring out Andrew Luck, and I expect him to start the second half. He ended the first half pretty good. You know, he would have liked to have gotten him in the end zone, did go down and get a field goal, but you can see he's got the chin strap buckled. He's ready to go for the second half.
Derek Dimke will kick it off. First-year kicker from Illinois with Daniel Herron deep for Indianapolis. I think Sean Payton saw everything that he was looking for from his first-team offense, led by Drew Brees. Dimke on the approach. Second half is underway. Herron will take it out. Herron brought down as he crossed the 15-yard line. Let's send it downstairs, and Jenny Dell.
I was able to catch up with head coach Sean Payton during the half, and he said he was impressed with Drew. He looked really sharp out there, but he said he looked sharp all week long. The focus coming into this second half was to limit those penalties. Saints obviously getting 8 penalties in the first, and also to maintain the energy going into the second, even though they'll be substituting players out. And an injury update, Kenny Stills was out in the first with a quad injury. He will not be returning. Guys.
All right, Jenny, thanks. New Orleans in front, 20-10. The Colts have it, 1st and 10 at the 16 with Luck remaining in there. And a penalty flag to open up the third quarter.
Prior to the penalty, first charge timeout, New Orleans, 30-second timeout.
So no penalty.
Well, New Orleans had 12 men on the field. That's why the coaches called timeout before the flags could fly. You look at the first half stats, obviously, what sticks out is a lot of things on the Saints side, especially the time of possession, total yards, and of course the one turnover, the interception that Andrew Luck threw. All right, here we go. Get my number thing working here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Bingo.
Keontae Dawson was making his case with the coaching staff on the sideline. They burn a timeout. First play from scrimmage in the third. It's Richardson. Nice spin move. Richardson takes it to the 20-yard line. It's a 5-yard pickup. We asked Richardson about the transition last year after the deal with Cleveland. He said he finds himself studying the opponent more this year than he did last year. He was just trying to learn the playbook, couldn't focus on the other team. So that's been a step in the right direction for him already this year in his first full season with Indianapolis.
And that was a heck of a 5-yard run because he was stopped in the backfield, found a little crack in the defense and punished the tackler.
2nd and 5 now for Indy. First minute of this third quarter. Give it to Richardson again. Wrapped up right away. Nowhere to go on Ronald Powell, rookie from Florida. It's a loss on the play.
And he had problems last year. There's no question running through the hole. This is what he had at Alabama. Bigger holes, the patience, the vision. But in the National Football League, did not have the vision, did not understand where the design of the play was. Just learning the offense was difficult, especially coming over midseason from the Browns.
Luck out of the gun, a deep drop. Will throw to the outside. Dwayne Allen breaks a tackle, and Allen will not get to the marker. It'll be 4th down for Indianapolis. Tyron Walker makes the play for New Orleans. Colts will punt once again. So Richardson seeing some time in this second half. Number 3 pick in 2012 behind Luck and RG3. Richardson for a stretch thought he still had a chance to be the number 1 pick and feels as if this happened for a reason, that Indianapolis ended up acquiring him.
Well, they were interested in him before the draft. They had a lot of scouts looking at him, talking to him. And fate will have it. Here he is.
Jarris Byrd is back deep for New Orleans. Doesn't get a chance to touch it as McAfee with a short punt of 38 yards. 20-10. Saints in front. They'll have the football when we come back. New quarterback for New Orleans. It's Ryan Griffin. 2nd year out of Tulane. Part of the practice squad with the Saints. They believe he's made some progress during his time with the team. That's it for Luke McCown. Ended up being 3 of 10 for 45 yards. Had an impressive run as well. Cadet. Travaris Cadet. Hit by Vontae Davis. It's a 10-yard gain. There are the numbers on McCown.
Well, McCown rushed the ball 3 times. You talked about that 28-yarder, but he gained 34 yards to be the second leading rusher for the Saints in that first half. Listening to the play in his headset, as all the quarterbacks have that.
Saints now in Indy territory, and it's Ryan Griffin running the show for New Orleans. Take the handoff. Griffin steps up, throws, deep ball, little bit of separation. Nick Toon unable to haul it in. Greg Toller and Colt Anderson deep for Indianapolis. So you've got second teamers for New Orleans on offense, first teamers on defense for the Colts.
And this is a good throw, a good attempt by Toon, and a great play by Toller. And no flag on the play. So the players are obviously adjusting to the number of flags that have been thrown for illegal contact and defensive holding. Toller was clean on that play.
2nd and 10 for the Saints. Greg Jones, the former Jacksonville Jaguar and Houston Texan, now in there. On a pass to Joseph Morgan, missed 2013 with a torn ACL. Toller in on that stop, and a modest gain of 4 yards.
And again, we have not seen Brandon Cooks, the #1 pick out of Oregon State, tonight. We probably won't. He had that fever during practice, and Sean Payton told us he wanted to really monitor him closely, check out his weight, check out his hydration. And obviously it wasn't what Payton wanted to see, so he's probably not going to see any action at all tonight.
Also told us that he's made quite an impression, a very quick study, and believes he will have an impact on this team. 3rd and 6. Swing pass. Cadet leveled. It's Toller.
Now Chuck Pagano told Jenny Dell going into halftime that he wasn't happy with the way his team was being outplayed.
And Toller limping after the hit.
Toller limping and Cadet looking around. Where did he come from?
And they're going for it on 4th and 3. Marcus Burley comes in to replace Toller. Griffin out of the gun. Griffin dials up the deep ball. Incomplete. Looking for Morgan, and it's Burley in coverage for the Colts. The Saints give it away on downs. Indianapolis will have the football when we come back. 3rd quarter action.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Just for Men Mustache and Beard. Just you and the look you want. Nationwide Insurance. And by Verizon. More live games than ever before with NFL Mobile.
Andrew Luck, his night is finished. 10 of 18, 103 yards, a touchdown, an interception. Did play the first series of the 3rd quarter. And now Chuck Pagano makes the change. Matt Hasselbeck is in at quarterback. The 16-year veteran. He's got Daniel Herron behind him. And it's second teamers here for the Colts on offense. Spin move by Herron, former Cincinnati Bengal. In his 2nd year out of Ohio State, hit by Ramon Humber and Ronald Powell. Hasselbeck, veteran presence. Talked about the optimism surrounding this team. And he and Luck have formed a nice bond in their year and change together.
Really good situation for Andrew Luck to be able to draw upon the experience of a guy like Hasselbeck. Been there, done that. Nothing is he hasn't seen, and he can impart that to Luck.
2nd and 6. Hasselbeck to throw. He's got Moncrief. Moncrief with a first down out of bounds in New Orleans territory. That's a 9-yard pickup.
Well, what Moncrief gives you is a big receiver. Here he is on the right side of the screen on the crossing route. He's 6'2", 220 pounds, and he's a deep threat. He's got good speed, gets help down the field from Daniel Herron, and picks up extra yards.
Dante Moncrief second most receiving yards in school history at Ole Miss. Third all-time in catches. First down for Indianapolis. Fake the handoff, and now Moncrief on the end around. Moncrief with some room. Out of bounds. Another first down for Indianapolis. That's an 11-yard run from Moncrief.
Never quite sure how many wide receivers you're going to keep on a squad. It depends on a lot of things. Special teams really factors into a lot of decisions. But Moncrief is making a strong bid for that extra wide receiver spot.
Hurry, hurry!
New set of downs for the Colts. Under 9 minutes to go in the third. Give it to Herron. Daniel Herron, good receiver, good blocker, showing off the running skills. 4-yard pickup. Mario Harvey, the former linebacker, now playing fullback, providing the block.
Well, Herron's had a good preseason, 6.5 yards a carry, and a good burst that time. No hesitation, which is what you want to see in a young running back.
They'll go empty here on a 2nd and 6. Matt Hasselbeck, a 3-time Pro Bowler with Seattle, started his career backing up Brett Favre in Green Bay. Hasselbeck slings it. Nice curl move. DeRick Rogers. They are high on the skill level of Rogers in his second year from Tennessee Tech. Major upside. Signed as an undrafted free agent last year. 9-yard gain.
Yeah, Rogers, another one of those big wide receivers at 6'3", 215. That was a nice job of Hasselbeck coming down to his outlet receiver.
So Indianapolis has something going here in the red zone. Herron. Flag thrown as Herron carries inside the 15. Brought down by Jenkins and Walker. A 3-yard pickup. Is it coming back?
Illegal formation. Offense. Number 16, cover the tight end. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
That's the type of penalty you'll see in the preseason. A rookie not lining up properly on the line of scrimmage with the tight end on the same side of the ball as he is. That's an illegal formation.
Asked Chuck Pagano about this matchup. He said New Orleans was a great measuring stick for the Colts. Third one is always a little more interesting in the preseason. Also very close with Rob Ryan. They coached together in Oakland. 1st and 15. Hasselbeck on the out route. Incomplete. Trying to hit Josh Lenz, first-year wideout from Iowa State. 2nd and 15 for the Colts. It's a Colts team that went undefeated in the division last season, 6-0, 10-2 in the AFC South over the last 2 seasons. So they've really dominated what is probably the weakest division in the NFL, looking over the last year and change. Maybe some improvement this year. Coaching change in Tennessee.
Right. Houston. Gus Bradley, his second year. Jacksonville.
2nd and 15 now for the Colts. Hasselbeck. Strong throw. Connects with Lenz. This is an Indianapolis team that won the AFC South. Back-to-back appearances in the playoffs. That was an amazing comeback against Kansas City in the wild card round. But then Andrew Luck, 4 interceptions in the divisional round loss at New England.
And that bottom line, 3.3 yards per rush. And that's still a point of emphasis for this Colt offense is the running attack, and it's not been any better this evening.
This is now a 3rd and 9 for Hasselbeck and the Colts. Hasselbeck throws, complete. Jack Doyle. Local product from Cathedral High School here in Indianapolis.
Working against a linebacker on the inside, and the second catch of the preseason for it. Humber on the coverage, but a little bit late.
1st and goal for Indy. Trying to inch closer against New Orleans. They trail the Saints 20-10. Hasselbeck will make a change here. He's got Herron in the backfield. We'll hit the 6-minute mark of this 3rd quarter. On a give. Herron, acceleration. Herron carries to the 1. 5-yard gain for Herron, who runs with confidence. Colts moving quickly here. 2nd and goal. 10th play of the drive. Hasselbeck on a give. Herron hit behind the line of scrimmage. Corey White firing through for the Saints.
Yeah, Corey White recognizing this play. Watch him come from this side here, totally unblocked, and gets into the backfield. And a good tackle and a little bit of help from his friends there.
Vinny Sunseri.
Yep.
Let it roll, let it roll, let it roll.
3rd and goal. Nice stereo.
Jinx.
You owe me a Coke. Hasselbeck lining them up.
Hurry, hurry.
3rd and goal. Give it to Herron. Herron, 2nd effort, but didn't get there. It's now 4th and goal for Indianapolis.
You got to go for it. This is preseason. You've already kicked your field goal at the end of the first half when you were down here. That was really a slow developing play as Josh Walker, the rookie free agent tackle, was trying to lead Herron into the end zone. A lot of substitutions here on both sides.
They're counting all the players to make sure that it's legal.
Well, the offense has to give the defense a chance to line up and get their men out onto the field as well. And now a timeout called by New Orleans.
So 4th and goal for Indianapolis after the timeout. Introducing NFL Now, the newest NFL app brings you the biggest NFL video library on the planet. Select your favorite teams or players, and NFL Now delivers you non-stop videos on all of your devices. Get NFL Now for free at NFL.com/now. Sean Payton, 50 years old, now in his 8th year as the head coach of the Saints. Super Bowl champion 2009, 79-43 overall.
And a former quarterback in the National Football League for a brief time, but a quarterback nonetheless, and that really has got to help Drew Brees, you know, in their relationship. Quarterbacks speak a different type of language.
That's why I don't understand you. Is that what you're saying?
Did you never played quarterback, did you?
No.
Yeah.
No, well, backyard.
You know, split
Once.
right.
Split right, what? Payton played QB at Eastern Illinois, and then for the Chicago Bears in '87. 4th and goal for the Colts. Herron trying to slam it in there and didn't get there. The Saints stop Herron at the goal line. Rob Ryan's defense rises to the occasion. Powell, Dederick, and the Saints ready for the goal line stand. Starting September 11th, Pittsburgh at Baltimore, and your football week starts right here on CBS.
And that's really the key. The week starts on Thursday, the first game of that new set of games, and especially when you got a division rivalry game like the Steelers and the Ravens, perfect. And we got ourselves almost a safety.
So close. Colts thought they had it.
See Zach Kerr there asking for the safety signal.
Greg Jones.
What a job by Jones. Long-time fullback out of Florida State. Great effort.
Went to the Pro Bowl in 2007. Was a second-round pick in 04. Griffin to throw it. Griffin airs it out. Intercepted by Josh Gordy of the Colts. Robert Meacham, the intended target, and the Saints turn it over. Ends up being a glorified punt, but it goes on Griffin's ledger.
Got my friend Andrew Luck, who's going to take a stab at this, and we'll see what happens.
ALS Ice Bucket Challenge You normally would have a deeper throw at a carnival than the one that Luck just had to dunk Matt Hasselbeck.
You know, Hasselbeck's been sacked 342 times in his career.
He's been in a few ice buckets, is what you're saying. Colts take over, a 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. Hasselbeck and a give to Herron. Herron throwing his body around inside the 35. Lance Lewis with a good block, and that's a 12-yard gain for Herron.
Well, Herron's doing a good job in this second half. Remember, this is against the backups of the Saints, but he's got backups working for him up front. But his effort to squeeze through that hole and good vision to get away from Sunseri momentarily.
So 1st down for the Colts. They trailed 20-10. They could not punch it in on the doorstep. Previous possession. Herron stays in there, releases, and hit immediately. Terrific read by Kyle Knox, 1st-year linebacker from Fresno State, a potential special teams ace for the Saints. Loss of 4.
Well, that's how most backup linebackers make the team, is their ability to cover kicks and do good jobs on the special teams. That time it was just a good job of knowing at man-to-man coverage on the running back and staying with them.
2nd and 14 now. And these are big plays for a bunch of players on the field trying to make the team. Hasselbeck popped up in the air, incomplete. Whalen the intended target, and it was Darius Brooks who had an opportunity for the pick.
And that type of play, that if he makes that interception, he makes a real big impression, obviously, on his coaching staff. But by not making that catch, he just hurts his own chances of making the team as a backup corner, slot corner.
Well, that was something that Rob Ryan talked about, just trying to identify the best 53 players to keep on the roster. That's the most important thing to come out of training camp. You form some opinions, and then obviously the game action will either confirm your beliefs or maybe change your mind. Hasselbeck caught by Whalen. Hasselbeck on time. 17-yard gain, and this is something Hasselbeck talked about, developing the second unit players and really taking ownership of that group, trying to improve their play.
Well, and you can see how passionate he is about this in his play right now, stepping up into the pocket and really delivering a beautiful pass.
Down to a minute 52 to play in the 3rd quarter. 20-10, the Saints leading the Colts. Hasselbeck making sure everybody's on the same page here. Working out of the gun. Hasselbeck delivers, end zone, intercepted. What a play! Brian Dixon with the pick. Josh Lenz the target. Rob Ryan pumping the fist. Dixon, the rookie out of Northwest Missouri State, with the INT.
That's been the same old story for the Colts offensively. Trouble getting it in when they're in the red zone. This time inside the 5-yard line. Bradshaw gets stuffed, and then Herron gets stuffed on 3 straight runs. And then the interception by Brian Dixon. Talk about making an impression. A great catch in the back of the end zone for the interception.
Dixon's twin brother is Brandon Dixon, who's a cornerback on the New York Jets out of Northwest Missouri State. So both brothers trying to make NFL teams. Handoff up the middle to Cadet. Let's send it downstairs. Jenny Dell standing by with Colts QB Andrew Luck.
Andrew, Game 3 known really as a dress rehearsal for the regular season. How would you grade your performance?
Not a very good grade. Never got in a rhythm, missed some throws that would like to make and turn the ball over. It was encouraging to get a 2-minute drive down there. Which got to punch the ball and win down there. We got to get 7 points. And credit to the Saints, they're playing well.
They say that this is really this important time to get prepared and feel like it's a regular season game, whether it's the week leading up schedule or even going in the half and coming back out for the 3rd quarter. How important was that to get back into that rhythm?
It was great to get in the feel of things and to have the week of preparation and to go into the locker room and come out. Obviously we didn't perform as well as we would like. But we'll get to see the film, get a lot of work in, and get ready for the next preseason game in week 1.
Thank you very much, Andrew. Back to you.
All right, Jenny, thanks very much. Matt Hasselbeck, when we asked him about Luck, said there's just a belief in Luck from the fans, from the organization, from the opponent. He just has an aura about him that he's going to get it done.
I think the opponent is more important than even the team,
Holding.
especially in this building,
Offense number 83.
especially in the pressure
10-yard penalty.
situations like the end of the first
down.
half or the end of a ball game. And you saw what he did in that tremendous comeback win in the playoffs against Kansas City last year. The opponents fear Andrew Luck.
So hold called on Jacobs of New Orleans. Nick Jacobs, rookie from McNeese State. Ryan Griffin seeing extended action. Drew Brees. Sean Payton saw everything that he needed to see, then went to Luke McCown. Handoff to Cadet. 8-yard gain for Cadet. Another receiving threat, third year out of Appalachian State. And that'll do it for this third quarter. New Orleans with a 20-10 lead over Indianapolis. We'll come back after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL. Start of the fourth quarter, Saints leading the Colts 20-10. This is the first time the Saints are in Indianapolis for a preseason game since 1991. Saints have the football. Start of the fourth. Ryan Griffin takes a lick.
That's got to be intentional grounding.
Jonathan Newsom first man, and then Andy Studebaker. And the flag comes in.
Intentional grounding. Offense number 4. Spot foul. Loss of down. Third down.
Might as well just take the sack here. You have no receiver on that side of the field. You take one big hit and then you hit the ground, so it's 2 hits for the price of 1 here as Studebaker lays out Ryan Griffin, and the insult is the penalty flag.
So now third down and 26 for the Saints. High snap handled by Griffin. Set up the screen. Derek Strozier is brought down, but another penalty flag on the play as he's hit at the 20-yard line by Marcus Burley.
Illegal use of hands. Hands to the face. Offense number 79. Penalties decline. Fourth down.
That's big Bryce Harris. He's 6'6", and he gets that hand right away into the face mask of Cam Johnson. That's an easy call, being on the outside as both those players were.
New return man, it's Luchez Purifoy, the rookie from Florida. Thomas Morstead punting for the Saints. Early stages, fourth quarter. Moving forward, Purifoy taking a chance, able to handle it. 44-yard punt, no return. Darius Brooks down the field to make the play on special teams. All right, we mentioned Indianapolis dominating the AFC South. 8 titles in the last 11 years. This is what they're looking at within the division. The improvements, Houston obviously has made some personnel changes. Tennessee, the coaching change. Jacksonville, another year in the system. Houston in particular, very tough team to read. Chandler Harnish is in. Third string quarterback for the Colts. Up the middle for Herron. Daniel Herron off to the races. Brought down inside the 25. Daniel Herron continues to make an impression for the Colts.
Well, it starts off here and then he's off to the races, as you said, Ian. Really good speed here by Herron, but a nice job at getting through the hole quickly. Not sure where the linebackers were after a 44-yard gain. Herron continues to impress and press for playing time in the regular season.
So Chandler Harnish now running the show here for Indianapolis on first down. Harnish, deep ball, end zone, caught over the shoulder. Josh Lenz, touchdown Colts.
Yeah, 2 big plays for the Colts. This is just a beautiful touch pass as Lenz gets behind the corner and gets it into the end zone. Great job by Lenz, beating Brian Dixon. Little payback there. Dixon got the big interception moments ago, but Harnish with a beautiful touch pass.
Life in the NFL. Dixon feeling great about things with the pick. And then he gets beat on the touchdown by Josh Lenz. Adam Vinatieri on for the extra point. 20-17, the Colts back in it. Chandler Harnish out of Northern Illinois puts a touchdown on the board for Indy. Tomorrow, the PGA Tour on CBS rolls out the playoffs for the FedEx Cup. An all-star lineup tees off at the Barclays. Jim Nantz and the rest of our golf crew will have the coverage for you from New Jersey. Jason Day, Jim Furyk. Co-leaders, 9 under par. Hunter Mahan, 1 shot off the pace. Tomorrow, 2 o'clock Eastern, here on CBS. Nice moment for Chandler Harnish. Having a chat with Matt Hasselbeck along the Indianapolis sideline. McAfee kicks it off. Return man is Cadet, and he'll take a knee. Saints will have it at the 20.
Let's go back to the touchdown, and it's just a go route by Lenz, but the corner here, Dixon, is expecting help from the safety, Sunseri, as he lets the receiver go to the inside, but the safety seeing the play action coming his way. No help, and it's an easy touchdown for Lenz as he gets behind the corner and receives a perfect pass.
So the ups and downs of playing cornerback in the NFL. Brian Dixon. 1st and 10 for the Saints from the 20. Ryan Griffin, 3rd string QB for the Saints, remains in there. Connects with Brandon Coleman, rookie out of Rutgers, for 7 yards. Saints will wrap up the preseason at home against Baltimore on Thursday night. The Colts' final preseason game is in Cincinnati on Thursday night. Rosters will be trimmed to 75 on Tuesday. Number of teams made some moves today. Philadelphia, the Jets, and then have to cut it down to 53 on August the 30th. Give it to Cadet off the stutter step. Cadet out on the perimeter, and they'll rule him out of bounds. 11-yard gain for Cadet.
Yeah, that's so important. You know, you're getting your play on tape for not only your team to study and figure out who they're going to keep, but obviously for every team around the league. And that's a big concern about cutting players and wanting to bring them back on your practice squad, is that if they do show well in the preseason, they may get claimed by another team.
Out of the gun, Griffin. Short pass to Coleman. And a 4-yard gain for New Orleans, brought down by Marcus Burley, the former Jacksonville Jaguar. Drew Brees, strong night. 9 of 15, 128 yards, 2 touchdowns. Played just the first quarter, his first preseason action. Asked him about how he's feeling, even beyond. You joked with him about playing to the age of 45. He said he's still having fun. He's playing at a high level. He'll keep going as long as he can. Rookie out of Tulane, Strozier with the 2-yard gain.
Yeah, there's, Brett Favre has a lot of great numbers. Peyton Manning, a lot of great numbers. Breeze is right there with him.
Yep.
And if he plays as long as those other two, he may surpass them.
Over 50,000 career passing yards. And just a tremendous leader. Third and 3. Ryan Griffin is dumped. Zach Kerr with the wiggle and the jiggle.
A lot of both, yeah. 6'2", 335. That is a lot of jiggle, but he's a happy man. Picks up a sack for the rookie. It's the world's biggest blue hen out of Delaware.
Thomas Morstead will punt it with Purifoy once again deep for Indianapolis. Fair catch called for. Purifoy brings it in cleanly after the 43-yard punt. There's a lot of Eagles. Just select whatever first letter you want. A lot of moving parts.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by AT&T, helping you do what you do even better. AT&T, mobilizing your world. Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by Bud Light, who reminds fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly.
Rejoining you here in Indianapolis, the Saints with a 20-17 lead over the Colts. Starting quarterbacks for these two teams got their opportunities right away. Drew Brees with San Diego, Andrew Luck with the Colts on a give to Zerlon Tipton. And that leads to the question about young quarterbacks now. And here you go, Bortles, Manziel, Bridgewater, and looks like all of them are going to be watching from the sideline to start the season.
Well, and I think that's smart. It takes the pressure off them right away. There's so much to learn, so much to go through, not just on the playing field, but as we've seen with Manziel off the field. And the one thing about a quarterback is you can be cocky, you can be arrogant, you can be a lot of things, but one thing you have to be is humble. And this game is a tremendous tool in humbling not only rookie quarterbacks, but veteran quarterbacks. We just talked to Andrew Luck. You can see that he wasn't happy with his play tonight. But I think that's what all these quarterbacks have got to learn, especially Manziel, that you've got to conduct yourself as a professional, but even more than that, as a professional quarterback. And there's a lot that goes into playing the position on and off the field.
3-point lead for New Orleans. Indianapolis on the move. Zerlon Tipton back-to-back impressive carries. And it's Tipton again.
And you don't know how long those quarterbacks will be on the bench backing up the quarterbacks, but what we've seen out of Bortles and out of Bridgewater is that they may be ready sooner than Manziel, because they just seem to have I've been really impressed with Bortles in the short things, the time that I've seen him play. His ability to throw on the run really surprised me, because you look at him and you say that's a pocket passer, but he's got ability similar to Andrew Luck to throw the ball well on the run, as does Bridgewater.
Chad Henne named the starter for Jacksonville, and Matt Castle is going to be the guy for Minnesota. Tipton another carry.
And Bridgewater had a good night tonight against Kansas City with a couple of touchdown passes. So, and he's also working with a great offensive coordinator in Norv Turner. He'll get the very best coaching and preparation. And the quarterback coach for the Vikings, Scott Turner, Norv's son, is also doing a good job in that position.
On a 3rd and 4 now for Indy. 8.5 to play in the fourth. Harnish is on time to Eric Swope, the rookie out of Miami. When you broke in, who was the starting quarterback in San Diego?
Some stiff.
What was his name?
Johnny Unitas.
You weren't going to beat out Johnny U?
I tried. Johnny started the season 3 or 4 games and then unfortunately got hurt. He was 40 years old at the time, and really at the end of his run, his great run. And how about this franchise having Johnny Unitas when they were the Baltimore Colts, then the great Peyton Manning, and who knows what the future holds for Andrew Luck.
1st and 10 out across the 45-yard line. Give it up to Tipton. What'd you learn from Johnny Unitas?
I learned so much from Johnny U in such a short time, but basically watching him handle things, it's what I go back talk about, the number of things you have to do as a quarterback, and dealing with the huddle, your teammates, reading defenses was really key. He told me so much about hiding my eyes and looking guys off and knowing where to go. Anticipation, really a key for a quarterback.
Tipton, good slice by Tipton, and they are in New Orleans territory across the 45.
And for some reason, he liked me. You know, he's 40 years old, I'm 22, and we would go out and he'd let me buy the beer.
Oh,
it's amazing.
That was really nice of him. What a gentleman.
Johnny U, great one.
But again, I would think just the way that the team follows your lead as a quarterback, setting the tone, your attitude, that's going to rub off in the locker room as well.
Well, when you realize during a game you're out there with 10 guys in the huddle, and they're looking for you for guidance and leadership and performance. And there are no coaches out there. They're all on the sidelines. It's just you and your other 10 guys out there. And if they don't believe in you, it's just not going to work.
Pat McAfee will punt it. And again, it's Cherish Bird getting an opportunity in the return game for New Orleans. It's weird that you mentioned that the play-by-play guy has to buy all the drinks. How the dynamic switched in the broadcast booth. Bird hauls it in. 37-yard punt. 3-point lead for the Saints. The NFC South, the New Orleans Saints. These are the teams they're dealing with. The Carolina Panthers, 12-4 last season. Surprising division champion. The Atlanta Falcons took a nosedive, 4-12, and the Buccaneers believe they are a better team. New coach Lovie Smith, 4-12 last season. The Saints finished up 11-5, undefeated at home. Beat Philadelphia in the wild card round, 26-24. Fell to Seattle in the divisional round, 23-15.
Yeah, there were two surprising collapses last year in the NFL, Atlanta and Houston. And I expect Mike Smith to get that Falcon group back to the old dirty bird thing. And I think Lovie Smith's going to do a great job in Tampa Bay as well. It'll be a lot better division this year.
Joseph Morgan with the catch, a 6-yard gain. We're down to 5:35 to play in the fourth quarter. And Ryan Griffin still in there. Second-year QB from Tulane. He's got Travaris Cadet behind him. Motion man is Jontavius Jones. Cadet stumbles. And David Sims there defensively will approach 5 minutes to play. 3-yard gain for Cadet and a 3-point lead for the Saints. 3rd and 1 now for New Orleans. Remember, the Saints traded running back Darren Sproles to Philadelphia for a 5th-round pick, opening up a spot for somebody in that backfield. Cadet hit by Zach Kerr.
He may be too tired to jiggle this time, but that was a heck of a play. Cadet coming to the outside, and remember, this is a 335-pound defensive tackle. He's still got some moves, though.
4th down, Josh Lenz, who caught the touchdown pass over the shoulder to cut into the New Orleans lead. Now the return man, Thomas Morstead, with another punt. And a timeout called. 4:16 mark here in the fourth quarter. New Orleans and Indianapolis wrapping things up. Saints 2-0 in the preseason. The Colts 0-2. Sean Payton just been the perfect guy for Drew Brees. Simpatico. And Brees was excellent in San Diego. Obviously, they moved on with Phillip Rivers.
They had a tough decision to make.
They did.
Because Brees was coming off a bad shoulder, and it was his throwing shoulder at that. So San Diego decided to go with Phillip Rivers. It worked out really well for both teams.
Don't you think that they were going that direction anyway, even before the shoulder injury with Brees?
Well, Rivers was the #1 pick.
Muff. And New Orleans has got it. Lenz unable to handle it.
You talk about the ups and downs of rookies and first-year players. Lenz with a touchdown catch, and now he muffs this punt, and it's recovered by the Saints. And it's a wrong impression to make when you're trying to make a team.
Todd Davis, rookie from Sacramento State, on the recovery. So the Saints take over in Indianapolis territory at the 32-yard line with 4:05 left. Last week they forced 5 turnovers and had 4 sacks in that win over Tennessee. So they've been able to get some highlight material in all 3 phases during this preseason. feeling good for the regular season opener against Atlanta. Derek Strozier with the carry for 2 yards. Clock is moving, under 4 minutes to play. Zach Kerr with another stop for Indy.
And Strozier could do a real good Darren Sproles imitation at 5'8", 180 pounds.
He was actually a cornerback his senior year at Tulane, and working his way back to the running back position. Griffin gets rid of it. Cadet backpedals towards the sideline and hit there by Enoch Muwamba. 7-yard gain. It's preseason. It's part of it. The pronunciation guide is out for the play-by-play guys.
You nailed that one. Muwamba.
Felt good about it.
He's got to feel good about the play he made too.
Now a 3rd and 1 for the Saints. Jones and Cadet in the backfield. Give it to Jones, the first man through. And forward progress will give him a first down. Needed a yard, picks up 2. And the clock continues to roll.
Yeah, this is an important time for Greg Jones too. An 11-year veteran, played most of his career with the Jacksonville Jaguars. We've already seen Austin Johnson, the other fullback, who both of them are backing up Eric Lorg, who's out tonight. Johnson got that first touchdown pass from Drew Brees, and now Jones picks up a key first down.
So 1st and 10, just short of the 21-yard line for the Saints.
Ready. Blue 80. Where's that?
Handed off for Strozier, and not much there. No gain on the play. Jonathan Newsom combining with Philip Hunt. Johnson had the touchdown catch early from Drew Brees, one of 2 touchdowns from Brees. 2.5 to play. 2nd and 10 now for the Saints. Rotating running backs. Cadet back in, but he'll set up as a receiver. And they'll spread it out for Ryan Griffin. Shotgun from Griffin. Sideline throw. Incomplete. Cadet, the intended receiver.
And Muwamba with real good coverage. That was smart by Griffin to see the linebacker 51 on the running back. And he knows he's going to go right to it. Tries to the back shoulder throw. But that coverage was absolutely perfect by Muwamba. No contact, no holding, no flag.
And now a 3rd and 10 for the Saints. From the 21. They handle the rush. Griffin loses the ball, knocked away by Muwamba. And recovered by Cadet for New Orleans. We'll hit the 2-minute warning in the 4th quarter. A 3-point lead for the Saints in Indianapolis. 45-yard field goal attempt here for Derek Dimke, native of Rockford, Illinois. Trying to give the Saints a 6-point lead with 2 minutes to play in the 4th quarter. It's a battle between Dimke and Shane Graham to win the kicking position here for New Orleans. Graham has made field goals of 39 yards and 24 yards. This is a 45-yard attempt for Dimke. And he's got it. Plenty of leg. Derek Dimke. New Orleans extends the lead. 23-17, the Saints. For the new Secretary of State, life is anything but politics as usual. Téa Leoni stars in the new drama, Madam Secretary, Sundays this fall after 60 Minutes, only CBS. 23-17, the Saints on top of the Colts. Zerlon Tipton is the deep man for Indy, and Derek Dimke, who just nailed that 45-yard field goal, will kick it off for the Saints. Tipton will take a knee. All right, this is a little bit out there, Dan. Drew Brees. He's a little bit of a politician, yes?
Yes, he does. I mean, he handled the Graham situation like a good politician.
The 19th president of the United States, Rutherford B. Hayes. That is freaky.
Especially when you put eye black on him.
It's as if Breeze was in a DeLorean with Doc and went back in time, served our country as the president or a hot tub time machine. But now we can speculate because that's a young Rutherford Hayes.
And Breeze is talking about playing till he's 45 or so, and I think we have a picture of Rutherford B. Hayes at 45. We'll show you after this play.
Harnish on a dump off. Zerlon Tipton out across the 35-yard line. So that was a young Rutherford B. Hayes. That's an older version. I think that was after his one term as president.
Well, life is rough in the NFL, but apparently it's rougher as president.
On first down, a throw that's too high for Eric Thomas.
I feel like I'm working with Mr. Peabody in the Wayback Machine.
It is a little bit like that. (23-17), the Saints leading the Colts. We'll get a presidential lookalike for Andrew Luck next time we have them in the preseason. 2nd and 10.
Well, you have to give equal time in politics. You know that, don't you?
I do. Chandler Harnish brought down to the 45. 1:17 to play.
Just 2 timeouts to work with for Chandler Harnish. But he's competing. This is really the most fun part of a game for any quarterback, is the hurry-up offense.
Give it to Tipton. And brought down right before he got to midfield. It's enough for a first down. 6-yard gain. We're down to 59 seconds to play and a timeout called by Indianapolis.
This situation, rarely do you see a quarterback get sacked. The offensive line gets a little more fired up. They do a little bit better job of protecting the quarterback. And the quarterback is facing against defenses. You know, you hear about the old prevent defense. Well, that's what you're going to see here. You're going to see a lot of zone out of the New Orleans Saints in their secondary. So that means usually a 4-man pass rush and time to throw for young Chandler Harnish.
So they've got the time remaining here, and now the question is whether or not Harnish can lead this group for a game-winning touchdown. Just shy of midfield. 59 seconds left on the clock. Harnish out of the pocket. Pressure. Harnish trying to get to the sideline.
How can they say he didn't get out of bounds?
Kasim Edabali on the chase down.
The official right on the spot there. It sure looked like he got out of bounds to stop the clock.
We're down to 38 seconds left. Shotgun here for Harnish. Loss of 1 on the previous play. Harnish throws. Hauled in by Eric Thomas, and he does get out of bounds. Rookie from Troy stops the clock with 27 seconds left and a 6-yard pickup through the air. So now a 3rd and 5. Rob Ryan coaching these third teamers of New Orleans, looking for another preseason win. They're 2-0. The Colts are 0-2. 27 seconds left. Harnish. The throw. Incomplete. Eric Thomas, the intended receiver. Brian Dixon in coverage for the Saints.
And Brian Dixon having a very eventful second half with a pick and getting beat for 1 touchdown. Had good coverage that time. But it looked that ball might have been catchable for Eric Thomas on that sideline. Like it went right through his hands.
So now 4th down. Final try here for Indianapolis with 23 seconds left. Harnish. And that'll do it. Harnish is sacked. The Saints wrap it up on D. 17 seconds left.
Kasim Edebali with the sack that time with a little help from Lawrence Virgil. And it's just a four-man rush as the Saints just overpower that Colt offensive line and drop Harnish and end the ball game.
So Chuck Pagano challenged his team at halftime to improve. We saw the Colts make a game of it in the second half. And the focus will now really turn to the regular season opener at Denver. Final preseason game will be all backups, most probably for both the Saints and the Colts. Back in the state of Indiana, Drew Brees. Payton and Pagano meet at midfield. The Saints get the win, 23-17 over Indianapolis. So that'll do it from Lucas Oil Stadium. For Dan Fouts, Jenny Dell, the rest of our CBS Sports crew, Ian Eagle saying so long from Indianapolis. We look forward to joining you in the regular season for the NFL on CBS. Saints win over Indy. Have a great night, everybody.